Hi everyone, it's Lonnie. Thanks for joining me today. I have labels on the brain for some reason, and I wanted to make some of my own. I think there's something really fun about including our own things that we make from scratch, even if we use things like sentiments and things that we didn't exactly produce, but things that we can add to what we make, such as if we have stamps, we have pens, we have things at our disposal that we can use to add our own personal touches. And I recently bought these 4x4-inch paper pads at the dollar store, and there's some in here I just don't have a clue what I would do with them. There are some that would be perfect for labels. For instance, I think that one would be good. I think this one would be good. When I make labels, I want to keep different color schemes in mind. So I can get roughly 4 labels out of that if I make them rectangular. That one's a little too bright for me, and too dark. But something like this would work. That would also be kind of in that color scheme. Let's see what else we have here. I find small prints work really well and add interest. Don't want them too dark because I want probably to stamp something on top of them. I've already been through this pad, so probably make some more tiny little envelopes out of some of these. Let's see. This one's kind of patriotic. Might be kind of dark. Summery, maybe. This one would make good background. I do like anchors. I think that's why I bought this one. This one might be alright. So just pulling some out for spec. I already know my favorite kind of paper to work on, and that is something with a tiny print that has like flowers and some colors on there that are really cool. Like this one. This is a free printable that I got from Vectoria Designs, and I made a whole bunch of labels using my sentiments, which I will provide a free download for from my coffee shop. But you can see I used my my sentiments that I made up in Photoshop. Then I coffee dyed that sheet, and I put it was copy paper weight for the I had a copy weight. This is slight cardstock, and then I based on that the black base, that put that on the black base. Sorry, I can't talk. Okay, so then that's one way, and I just really like how they turned out. I also used some just on plain black. I put some on craft stock. So yeah, those sentiments are available for you to download for free. I tried to make the font a little bit bigger because sometimes I find that labels are really tiny. And I'm not saying that I made all these, but you'll see which ones I made in the download. I also use Amazon packaging stickers. I don't really use them, but I do like to make them. So there's that. Then I also want to make some, I have some stamps here. It's including some of the stamps I made myself. I cut out some of the borders from some of the stamps that I had. I didn't have a specific frame, but I cut one out. You could also just make a template like so and trace it. That would work. You could make labels on label paper and cut those down. So yeah, let's get started and see what we come up with this morning. I'm going to start with the lightest one, I think. And I'm going to start with the stamp. So I've basically put the frame on my, and too, you can manipulate some of these if they stay. If you don't want perfect, you know, rectangles, you could make them wavy on there. I do like to add leaves. In fact, I'll show you some that I made already. Okay, so I kind of had them separated into piles. This was, see how well you can see here. These were made out of the 4x4 sheets. And I did them the way I did this one. Put the frame on, and then I put a sentiment or a phrase inside. This was actually a stamp as well. So there's those. Then I took some different shapes, made some really tiny ones. And these were also out of the 4x4s. Same with these. These are, they just have like a grunge background. Those are special because you can write in them. You can add a stamp to them later on if you so choose. You could doodle on them, which is some of what I want to do today as well. And then there's these. I think these are my favorite so far, next to these. Everything's my favorite. Okay, so I love butterflies. You might know that by now. Different ink stamps. Again, with the background of the 4x4. Now, it doesn't have to be 4x4. I want to use some of the scraps that I have. Sometimes you print things out and they don't work out exactly right, so I want to also incorporate some of those things today. So yeah, there's butterflies. Can't go wrong with those. And there's, again, I was playing with the 4x4 pads, and I took, of course, all the prettiest papers that I liked first and just stamped different leaves on them. Some of them already had botanicals on there, so stuff like that. So between the pretty labels with the stamps on them, the sentiments, packaging, stickers. Now these don't all come off really nicely, but I decided to go with that. What else? So the stamp with the leaf on it, I think that one would do really well on this one. So then I just have to decide what color of ink. I do lean heavily towards the dark brown, which is in my case ground espresso. And if this doesn't stick very well, I will put some tape on it. Just to help it stick to the pad. And this is where you could manipulate the shape. This tape is good for reusing, like resticking. I'll try that. And I just try to line it up as close as I can to the edge. That way I get more stamps out of that tiny little piece of paper. And don't really want to overlap, but that sometimes happens. That's coming out really dark. Looks more black on this one. That's okay. And then one more here. If I use smaller ones, I would obviously get out more. But I do really like that one. Then if I wanted something more in the background, I could take some of this like script and just kind of add that. Let's do a test over here. Something like that, just to add a little bit of interest. And for that, I don't really mind if it's not. It's just additional. A little bit of grunge if you like grunge. So then you just cut those out and use them. Okay, so that's one. That's the stamp idea. I want to also do some on this one. For this one, I probably will go darker because it printed fairly dark, which was nice. Let's see. I've got this tag shape. I think that would be pretty. Not exactly a label, but you can use it as a label. Who says all labels have to be? You can have a tag-shaped label. Why not? So the black soot here is still a little shy. I thought when you filled up ink things, ink pads, they were supposed to be darker. Let's try one over here. Well, there. Try one more in the espresso. Yeah, see, that print's darker. I prefer that. I wonder if I added some water to that black soot, if that would perk it up some. One way to find out. And no, it looks like it's gonna, that is so strange. Can anybody enlighten me as to what happened to my ink pad with the black soot? When I refilled it, it just went lighter and less intense to the point where I don't even really want to use it now. So I'll take a scrap piece and just okay. So there's that one. And then I want to do some, well, why not see if this works. If I put, so if I have this, okay, and then if I have, maybe I need a couple different kinds. Or what if I do the number? I should have done that. We'll make that one plain. We'll do this one with the number. So there I have a number. Now what if I take this one? This one can be lighter. And just kind of, there, I can't even see that. But I'm going to try that again, just a little darker. Maybe it just, because this is one I made. I found a tutorial on YouTube and made my own, which is totally doable. And I'd like to do more of that. It's just, you know, who has all the time? Okay, let's see. Okay, that turned out dark. Maybe I just needed to get more ink on it. But okay, so that's not one of my favorites. But I've also got this one, which I didn't put a handle on, just a stamp image so I would know what the stamp was. I will try something like that. That's kind of cool. Don't really want that too dark in case I want to add something else on there yet. Just maybe the hint of something. Again, just to add to the grunge. Now, the number one I think worked out really well. But since I'm partial to things like leaves, I think I would replace that. And I'd have to find a leaf that fit. And that could be why my last one was bent somewhat. need a smaller. That should work. Something like so. And if you get an imperfect image, because I'm going to be cutting these out, you can just fill that in with a pen. Not a big deal. Okay, liking those. Then let's see, what else do I want to do on this paper? Probably, knowing me, a butterfly of some kind, because I'm really not good at drawing butterflies. Okay, I'll try this one again, see if it does any better. That's actually not bad. Maybe the water did help. Okay, this is falling down. I do really like the labels on different color backgrounds. And I think they only called them labels because of the shape, really. Because, I mean, yes, you can have different colors or different shapes. You can have labels that have words on them, but you don't necessarily have to see, when I used to think of labels, I thought of things like what did I think of? Something formal, something that when you label something, you make it formal, like you okay, that one has backwards. I'm trying to have these face each other. It's not, so far not working out for me because I'm talking. Okay, let's try that. I might be entirely too busy. So yeah, when I used to think of labels, I thought the purpose of a label was to formalize something like the name, or, you know, because what do you usually put labels on? Something you want to identify. So, oh, that's nice. I hope that's nice. I like that. Try it that way. Yeah, I like that one. That's actually 3 stamps put together. So don't limit yourself to just one. You can have all kinds of fun making your own scenery. I think that's mostly what I wanted this piece of paper for. But yeah, Vectoria Designs. This one came out in an email. But if you get on her email list, she sends out a sample of items from her various kits. So go check her out. Okay, so that's my fun with butterflies, I think, for today. I'm just gonna take my regular scissors. Still a little bit wet over here. This one, just try cut this one out, see. I do like to leave a little bit of space around the label. And too, who says they all have to be like really small labels? You could make bigger labels. You could go around it like I just did, or you could totally cut that off and just go around. Like that. So that's kind of fun. Let me cut this butterfly here just to show. And it's really windy here and snowing, so you might not hear the snow, but you might definitely hear the wind. So this video might not be too long, but I did want to get that. Like I said, I've had labels on the brain, so I figured why not. And too, I said something about doodling. We have a few blank ones here that we could try that with. Let me just cut this. I'll put that aside because it's a little wet still. Okay, so those I did with stamps. Here's one I did with a stamp. I just want to cut that out so I can discard the things there. Alright, so here's some blank ones. I don't know, this one seems kind of, you could use it any direction really. Some of the stamps will have directional flowers, some will be all over, so just up to you how you want to do that. So then I choose to use something that will be permanent. So what could I draw on there? I'm still trying to practice my penmanship. So if I write something like, I don't know, I usually go with my standby, which is blessed. I tried a calligraphy course when I was younger, but yeah, so I tried it. I don't think I got super good at it, but I do still like to play around with it. So then I just do one swipe of the word. I try to get it kind of the way I want it. And then I just go back and darken the lines that I already made. So I'd just like to say welcome to the new subscribers. I don't know what happened over the weekend, but a bunch of you came on and joined me, so thank you for that. It's my prayer that this channel be a blessing to the Lord, and that He would be able to use me somehow to bring His good news to the world, in case someone has not come across the gospel somewhere else, that they would be exposed to it on my channel. And so the gospel is the good news, which means to me that our sins are paid for and He's done it. All we have to do is receive His gift for us. It was free to us, but it cost Him everything. So there, that's the one I did. That was my stamp, that was my writing, and I think although it looks different than the other ones, it looks not bad. I mean, you can tell it's handmade because I have a slight slant in my printing, but that's okay. So then there's these ones, and you can just draw, like maybe, I don't know, you can draw your own leaf, you can draw a flower maybe. Let's see. If I wanted to, I could put just printing now, not doing calligraphy. I think we need reminders every day of God's goodness. The thing I think that we need to remember about God being good is his perspective. If I take my finite perspective, which includes only the here and now in this world, I'm going to miss out on God's goodness, because he is eternally minded, because he created time. So his agenda is not within time. His agenda is, it includes time, but it's outside of time. So when I ask him for things, that's why I add, me personally, that's why I add your will be done, not mine, because he knows what's best. Okay, getting kind of preachy. Sorry. Not sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to fill this one in a little. And yes, it's not perfect, but it could just be like, you know, rough so that you know where to cut. And so it's not blank there. So what else did I want to do this morning with stamps? Oh yes, with labels I meant. A while back, I had stamped out just a whole bunch of things and not knowing what I was going to do with them. I think that one is, I was thinking of framing them this morning. So if I took this one here, and try to frame that one. I don't know, I can't really see it, but try it. Hey, that works. And I got that, that's okay. I'll just try to do this. And then I can cut these out and put them on a thicker background, like cardstock. Yeah, that works. Kind of a happy accident there. Yeah, I'm getting stamps from, or impressions from that one, but that's okay. This is scrap paper already, so try to do, didn't really want to use up a Kleenex, but so I can kind of see it as I get a little closer to it. Okay, so then I would cut some of these out. And too, I love to use my corner rounders. Not necessary, but they sure, I don't know, they give me that little bit of uniformity that I like. I mean, I could have just cut these out into rectangles and then use my corner rounder just to make them a little smoother around the corners. Now that I've already cut them, there's not much difference, but so there's that. And then if I take something like this, I would just probably cut out a whole bunch and then just you can use whatever glue you like. I made a bunch yesterday with Elmer's. Seemed to work just fine. Just had to be a little bit careful that I didn't put too much in. Sorry, out of frame probably. Too, it helps if you kind of smooth it out a little bit. Something like that. That would work. So yeah, this would easily be a mass make. I mean, I made, I don't know, is it 30, 40 labels there? I did that in an afternoon yesterday, so. There it is, right in front of me. For the labels, I usually like to use the smaller one. And you can see how crooked. So you can either fix it or not. There, that's better. And so, again, another great way to save money, because so these stamps I carved out of that felt pads. I personally use those felt pads as mouse pads. They seem to work fairly well, especially if they're kind of stuck down onto your desk surface a little bit. Otherwise they just slide all over. But yeah, so I made a couple of stamps with that. Of course, then there's round labels too, and I haven't used this one yet. I like to make round ones as well. And again, it's not really sticking. Might be better to put the tape on the, what do you call this? I don't know. The thing you attach stamps to. Okay, so then, let's see, where else can I add a little bit more room over here? And again, you could draw something in there. Or sometimes the label just highlights, like for me, this highlighted the daisy. And that's really one of my favorite things about stamping labels. Is sometimes the image you get is just really pretty. So for instance, like this one, since I gravitate towards nature anyways, let's see. If I had a really round, like large round one, I would probably pick that. This is a little bit, the print is a little bit bigger than what I'm used to. But if I were to go like right there, you get the flower. I think you see what I mean though. You can pick what's inside your frame. There's a bud. Let's see what else. Yeah, it's a little bit big for this stamp. And then I would just cut around that, or I would punch around it. I do have a nice punch, probably not the right size, of course, because you know how it goes. I have 3 circle punches, 1 inch, 1.5, and 2 inches, and they all seem to, you know, have their own things. However, you definitely could try it, right? And then also, if you have a bigger punch that's round, you could make the background. So anyways, that's what I have for you today in the way of labels, and I hope you have fun with that and enjoy it and give it a go. So yeah, get my free printable, and thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.